Hello and a very good evening. This is Thursday, 5 p.m., and you are watching this live broadcast on NTT by Tamal, our YouTube platform, which is essentially News the Truth. It was the same truth which had brought us, the quest for the truth that had brought us to Sandeshkhali. Not once, but twice and thrice. We came back to Sandeshkhali today, the day when Sheikh Shahjahan has been arrested. Sheikh Shahjahan, Trinamool Congress leader, well, he is no longer a Trinamool Congress leader because Trinamool Congress as a party has now suspended Sheikh Shahjahan. And how has Sandeshkhali reacted to this? Because mind it, Sheikh Shahjahan has been arrested by West Bengal police after more than 55 days. It was 5th of January. It was 5th of January when Enforcement Directorate officials had gone down to his house, then came under attack, and then what followed next is known to all. People came out and started protesting against Sheikh Shahjahan and his associates Shibu Hajra and Uttam Sardar. While a couple of neighborhoods in this very village had erupted in protest, they also became the face of the revolt. And while many women had alleged violations, exploitation, while there are women who have lodged complaints pertaining to actions which have outraged their modesty, there are also many complaints which the state government has received, which the police have now received over land grab. The reason why we are reporting to you live from this very spot. Every time we have come down to Sandeshkhali, we have filed a story. Today would be no exception. We had come here to file a story. This live broadcast is essentially to let you know what you should be expecting on a story which in all likeness we would be publishing tomorrow. While there would be hundreds of channels, hundreds of news channels reporting in Sandeshkhali, we try to be little different in our outreach to the people with our outlook towards journalism. And thus, every time you have come back to Sandeshkhali, you have only tried telling the story of the people. That's exactly what you should be expecting in our special long format story that you are hoping to publish tomorrow. We have spent an entire day here in Sandeshkhali today. But if I ask my camera person, Ronnie, just to pan right, this is something that you haven't seen in the past so many days here in Sandeshkhali. Every time you have come here, it was it was it was like a cacophony of lot of things: protest, anger, outrage, political delegation visiting, this delegation coming, that delegation coming. And it was, I'm sorry to use that word cacophony, but then that is exactly how it is. And in that, what certainly we missed so much was the sound of our children while they are playing. And there is a reason why I say this, because villagers had alleged that while Shibu Hajra, Sheikh Shahjahan, Uttam Sardar had usurped their land, people out here, little children out here also lost their ground to play, and thus it is significant. Children have come back on the same patch of land which was once hijacked by Sheikh Shahjahan and his associates. This entire portion of land has now been filled in, and over here, what used to be the agricultural land had been completely converted into a wetland, illegally acquired or forcibly taken. Some had given land in hope for lease money, and some were forced to part away from their land even though they were promised lease money, but they never got. And eventually, what these people did, they created such canal. Now, these canal have a channel to flow the water either in or out. Now, these are all man-made dams, you can call it, man-made bridges, in order to connect one patch of land with another. What once used to be a completely vast swath of agricultural land eventually got separated with such embankments. These embankments are basically built in to hold the water. And then they also made canals like this so that water can come, the saline water can come from the river, and then it can be pulled in, and then it can be flowed deeper inside. That is the whole purpose. Yes, for agricultural land too, you need canal, but then for that agricultural land, you do not need saline water. No cultivation can happen with saline water. So over here, they started cultivating fish, and people had to live with the agony, number one, that their land had been taken away, number two, the children have nowhere to go to play in the evenings, and number three, the little earning they used to make out of the land, that earning was gone. And these embankments were then broken. That particular thing, what you see, used to be a concrete structure which was built by Shibu Hajra and his people. Maybe wanted to make a guard room, because this, after all, is a very lucrative business, and in order to ensure that all the fish are well guarded, nobody is coming and preying, um, you know, maybe they created a guard room, and then angry, irate mob came and vandalized this. That was a washroom. That too has been vandalized. And as we walk on the rubble of this very small structure, people say that this rubble is too small before the rubble of their absolute misery, the rubble of misery under which they had been left to perish for the past 4 months, 4 years and more. And now that they have the opportunity for redressal, they have given written complaints to the government, to the administration, to the police, and many have started getting their land back. The other reality of Sandeshkhali that I witnessed today, over there, I know the bandwidth could be a little poor. Viewers, please bear with us. We only try to give a sense of what you should be expecting in the story that we publish tomorrow. You know, you see that dry patch of land? It wasn't dry last time I had visited. It was absolutely underwater. Only after this public outcry and with the intervention of the government, the canals have been broken, the embankments have been broken, and the water has now been flushed out from the major part of the land. And water is essentially being pumped out. As people say, Sheikh Shahjahan has been pumped out of Sandeshkhali. Sorry for the, this crackling sound as we walk on the scraps and basically the glass shards and other stuff. It is creating the crackling sound. But then Sandeshkhali as a story, as villagers say, would now revive from the debris of absolute high-handedness, alleged torture, illegal encroachment of land, and people are saying that now that Sheikh Shahjahan has been arrested, Shibu Hajra has been arrested, Uttam Sardar have been arrested, Ajit Maiti has been arrested, and now that people have started getting their land back, for them it is a new beginning. For them it's a new beginning without Sheikh Shahjahan in their lives, without Sheikh Shahjahan in Sandeshkhali. We will walk out of this place, but I want to introduce my colleague, Titash. Titash has accompanied me this time. Past 2 times she was a little occupied with some other work. Titash, as we visit Sandeshkhali, as you came here for the first time, you spoke to several women. What did they tell you?
So the women essentially heaved a sigh of relief. It was more like their victory after rebelling for so many days. when they finally there was an outburst, and after being tortured, allegedly tortured for so many years, they say that they can finally heave a sigh of relief now that Shah Jahan is behind the bars. But then what is important to note is they have also stated that just Shah Jahan behind the bar is not enough redressal for their grievances. They have mentioned that Shah Jahan must, be given the most stringent punishment so that he stays behind the bars and so that they can feel a little safe in their own land.
Several women also said that, uh, uh, they wanted Sheikh Shah Jahan to be arrested. They are okay now that he has been arrested, but they also say that it is not a complete closure, because it is not a complete closure. Let me just do something. It's difficult for Ronnie to walk backwards. Let's come here. Um, so many people said, it's not complete closure, because uh, many are still waiting to get their land back. Uh, you have seen the story that we have published after I had visited this area. But what had been your experience as you see this site of Sandeshkhali firsthand?
Okay. So, what is palpable in the air is the general sigh of relief, which not only the women but the general people of Shandesh Khali have also said. Because there's this palpable sigh of relief, palpable sigh of tensions getting loosened, palpable sigh of burdens being taken down people's back. They have said that, they have been under the alleged torture of Sheikh Shah Jahan and his accomplices for years. And this does, at to some extent, or this does at some point feel like um, their victory. Albeit small, albeit a little slow, maybe, but it does feel like their victory.
When I came down to Sandeshkhali, and before coming onto this side, uh, when I was there in Dhamakhali, we all were there in Dhamakhali. I spoke to villagers on the other side, and villagers over there saying that yes, it is true that something wrong had happened, but again, it is not the universal story of
Exactly,
Sandeshkhali.
exactly.
Like, if you have these people complaining, if their grievances are important, equally, there are people who are saying that we do not have a concern, we didn't have a complaint, and we are glad that Sheikh Shahjahan is being arrested,
Exactly.
because that would mean that we can settle with our business once again.
Exactly.
Our businesses can revive. So far, there had been too much of media limelight, and our business have also been affected because it wasn't nothing normal. So for them, it is too a sense of relief, even though they have not been direct victims of Sheikh Shah Jahan as they claim, or Shibu Hajra or Uttam Sardar. But for them too, it's a sense of relief that Sheikh Shah Jahan has been arrested, that they can start doing their business once again.
So, if you remember that there was this one fruit vendor who had clearly mentioned that, not all of us were, involved in this, or all of us had to bear the brunt of the, what did she said, the cacophony. It was not just violence, or it was not just the media attention, but then there was a lot of national attention on Shandesh Khali, especially this incident. So he had mentioned that now that Shah Jahan is behind the bars, now that they can actually go back to their business, they can actually go back to living their lives finally. The way it has been portrayed on television, or the way it has been portrayed elsewhere, that is something which he has claimed is far from the reality. They say that they have been here in peace. This part, the part which is here, the Shandesh Khali block 2, this has been under the torture of Shibu Hajra and his Uttam Sardar and Shah Jahan Sheikh and others. Whereas the others have said that, they were a part of that part, that land, and we know that they have perhaps taken land by coercion or sexually harassed people. But at the same time, we are also happy that he's arrested and we can finally go back to living our lives once
Yeah.
again.
So, as I've always been saying that Sandesh Khali, it's not a very easy story. It is a complex web of several narratives, several claims, and hidden inside that complex web is the truth. And the truth can only find out, can come out with proper investigation. We also spoke to one of the complainants, uh, one who had one who had complained to the police about alleged sexual harassment, and we spoke to her. she also gave us a testimony. I did not ask her about what happened to her. I don't want to. She has given a testimony before the magistrate. Let police do the investigation. I spoke to her today as how does she see this Thursday, the same Thursday where when Sheikh Shah Jahan has been arrested. Police have also claimed that they could do this, they could act because Calcutta High Court has removed the stay order. And police maintain that because of the stay order from Calcutta High Court, they couldn't do much in the past so many days. Uh, we do have the soundbite of Supratim Sarkar, and this is what he said, a senior IPS officer. This is what he said after the arrest of Sheikh Shah Jahan.
3 বছর আগে যে ঘটনা ঘটে সেই ঘটনার ভিত্তিতে যে অভিযোগ দায়ের করা হয় তার প্রত্যেকটা তদন্ত শুরু হয়েছে, কিন্তু 3 বছর আগে যে ঘটনা যে মামলার ভিত্তি তাতে তদন্ত করতে, তথ্য প্রমাণ সংগ্রহ করতে অনেকটা সময় লাগে। কিন্তু যে মামলার সম্প্রতি হয়েছিল, এটার কথা শুরুতে বলেছি 5ই জানুয়ারির কথা, যেখানে আমরা তথ্য প্রমাণ সংগ্রহ করতে পারতাম এবং পরবর্তী পদক্ষেপ করতে পারতাম, সেটাই আমাদের ক্ষেত্রে তদন্তে স্থগিতাদেশ ছিল, তাই জন্য গ্রেফতার করা যায়নি। অথচ সংবাদ মাধ্যমে, আপনাদের চ্যানেলে এবং আরও বিভিন্ন মহল থেকে এটা লাগাতার বলা হয়েছে যে পুলিশ ইচ্ছাকৃতভাবে শেখ শাহজাহানকে গ্রেফতার করছে না। আমি বলতে চাই স্পষ্ট করে, এটা ঠিক নয়, এটা ভুল, এটা অপপ্রচার। আমাদের আইনি বাধ্যবাধকতা ছিল, যেটা স্পষ্ট করে দিয়েছে। দিন দুয়েক আগে যখন মাননীয় উচ্চ আদালতের তরফে স্পষ্ট করে বলে দেওয়া হয় যে গ্রেফতারির উপরে কোনো স্তরে বিধি নিষেধ নেই, তারপর আমরা জোর কদমে তল্লাশি শুরু করি এবং গত রাতে মিনাখা থানার বামুনপুকুর অঞ্চল থেকে শেখ শাহজাহানকে আমরা গ্রেফতার করেছি।
So police claim that they could not act as per the expectation of the villagers. It's because there was a stay order from Calcutta High Court, essentially stressing on the fact that there was a complaint from Enforcement Directorate after the ED officials on January 5th had come under the attack, at the hands of Sheikh Shah Jahan's followers after they had tried raiding the house of Sheikh Shah Jahan. And on the basis of that complaint filed by Enforcement Directorate, Bengal police had started pursuing an investigation. But then, as ED moved back to court seeking a stay on that very complaint, which had been lodged by police, and that Calcutta High Court had given a stay, police could not proceed with the investigation. Police could not arrest him. At the same time, police are also saying that when there are complaints pertaining to some incidents which allegedly happened, say about 3 years back, 4 years back, 2 years back, they need to corroborate facts, and then they can finally confirm as whether the situation or the investigation warrants the arrest or not. Bottom line is, police claim after the stay order was removed, they have been able to arrest Sheikh Shah Jahan. Sheikh Shah Jahan was seen wearing that white kurta pajama inside the courtroom. Not really sure if anybody would say that he gave out a sense of remorse. No, not really. It was also a brief couple of seconds, I would say, when he was coming out of the court, that we all could see him and make that little video which we are now running. But then, coming back to this very live broadcast and the purpose behind it, right behind me is the sun, which is about to set. As the sun settles down, the dusk settles in, it will be a different evening for Sandeshkhali. It will be a different evening when people are saying they will not be living under fear of Sheikh Shah Jahan, that they would be able to live one night or the first night without the fear of Sheikh Shah Jahan, now that they're sure he has been arrested. Now that they know the matter has also been taken up by CID, now that they know that Sheikh Shahjahan is far away from Sandeshkhali in Kolkata at the office of the CID. So now that they know all of it, people out here say that this would be possibly the first night after the protest when they would spend a peaceful evening and a peaceful night, that they would sleep without a fear, at least those who were aggrieved, that nobody would come to attack us for being a rebel or for protesting against Sheikh Shahjahan and Shibu Hajra, because minded it's people and their protest which eventually led to uh, which eventually led to the arrest of Shibu Hajra, Uttam Shordar, and also Sheikh Shahjahan. And that's why people were absolutely scared of repercussions. But now that they know he has been arrested, people know this would be a different night for them. The sun would set and the sun would rise tomorrow. Maybe it would be a different sunrise and a different morning too for Sandeshkhali. A, without Sheikh Shahjahan, B, without the fear of him being around, C, with the hope that people have started getting their land back, D, given the fact that women who had made those allegations have been able to lodge a complaint. An investigation is on, they too are hopeful for justice. And finally, it would be a new morning for Sandeshkhali, not under the shadows of posters and banners demanding action against Sheikh Shahjahan. Maybe tonight, after you all leave, those posters and banners would be pulled down, because nobody loves living under the shadow of a past which is a bad memory. We just hope and pray as the sun rises tomorrow morning, it is a different day, a different morning, and definitely a better one for Sandeshkhali. We will be publishing our detailed story tomorrow. You would find a lot of testimonies, a lot of human voices, detailed description of what you have found as you have spent the entire day here in Sandeshkhali. But maybe the best sight for me has been this very place where children were actually playing, maybe after so many years. Villagers said their playgrounds were usurped and children didn't have a place to go and play in the evening. Maybe that was a very welcoming change as a sight visually for us as reporters who are equally outsiders here. The last few times that I have come here, I've only seen protest, anger, wails, tears, a lot of delegation coming, all of that. But today was a different experience altogether. Thank you so much for watching this live broadcast, and we do apologize if the bandwidth had not been that perfect. It is not in our control. What is in our control is quality journalism, and we ensure we will never betray you on that. Thank you for watching this live broadcast from Sandeshkhali. Please do look forward to our special story, which we publish tomorrow as you spend the entire day here. Keep engaging with us, because your engagement is our motivation. And many people had said, why aren't you going to Sandeshkhali? Why aren't you going to Sandeshkhali? I'm sure we have also been able to address to their angst that we are not close to human suffering, irrespective of the place it is coming from. Good night, take care, and keep supporting us.